You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver. What the hell is that? Podcast.
Welcome, one and all, to the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast. And if you're listening to this voice right now, you know I'm not one of the normal three, but I've weaseled my way into the fray because everybody's got a price and they're all going to pay. This is Casual Gaming Dad, one of the sponsors of the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast. And if you haven't listened to this show yet, my God, you are missing out. I am proud to be beside these three amigos here. I'll start off with the introductions. Mr. Beef the Legend, how are you tonight?
Tom, I am wonderful, and you can. There's no more free agency. There's no, you're on the podcast. You're part of the committee, part of the crew, part of the ship.
I feel like Cody Rhodes in AEW right now. This is pretty amazing.
Wow, look at this guy already taking the Cody Rhodes position. First official podcast is a P3 podcaster, and he's Cody Rhodes.
Well, I figure I'd leave you and Beef as the Young Bucks. So that other silky smooth voice over there is Mr. Poot the Bard, baby. That is your reigning, defending, undisputed, two-time champion of the P3 podcast. Poot, how are you?
You know what? I am finer than frog hair. I'm doing great.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, you got to save the best for last because this man, holy crap, what can I say about the P3 podcast? You couldn't have it without Mr. Alec Ransom. Madman Ransom.
Oh, we had that discussion. Yes, we could. Oh, yes, we could.
And we have.
That test video doesn't count. I don't count that. That wasn't your first official episode or
Episode
anything.
Cero.
The man's got a point.
Cero muero. But Ransom, how are you tonight?
$49.99, you ungrateful assholes.
Yes.
Stop listening until you pay us, or I'm gonna come find you.
Ransom, how are you getting these subscriptions? Are you having them like PayPal you, or I'm not seeing any of this cash.
You can send me dollar bills in the mail. You can send it to the CBS.
Dollars.
You can send it to the. This is for you. This is for you, the one who wants to intern for us. I want you to send me $49.99. Your subscription to the CBS studios in downtown Pittsburgh, 16th floor. You weren't there. I was standing in the line.
He didn't show?
You weren't fucking there.
Listen, he didn't show.
Listen, you want a job, you got to show up.
Yeah.
Sorry, pal. I can't
believe he didn't
one
show.
More direct message from you. Don't message the podcast page. Don't like the podcast page. Don't share it.
Pepe.
Shut up. I'm almost
Podcast Pepe.
I'm almost too deep. And this idiot, I gave him a shot and he didn't show. So you're fired. Go find the main roster. You can get buried in mid-card obscurity.
You're fired. No, you're not. You're fired. Oh, man. He's going to be the Elias. He's going to be Shane McMahon's lackey.
Well.
What a waste. Started off hot already with wasted talent.
Right?
So $49.99.
Well,
right.
speaking of $49.99, you got to have money behind that. So, Beef the Legend, why don't you go ahead and thank the sponsors? You don't have to thank me. I'm already here. Casual Gaming Dad's in the house, a.k.a. Tiger Bomb Tom. But why don't you go ahead and...
Nepotism.
It's not nepotism.
No, I said it's prostitution.
It's prostitution.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's no reason that we all can be,
Prostitutes?
Anyway, so, exactly. WrestleDeals.com. We are as always, very happy to announce their name on our podcast. We're so excited for our partnership with them. Like I said, Sean, he's the guy. Sean Tischler, he's the guy that heads everything up over there. He goes to all the indie shows. So if you're in the central Pennsylvania area, hit him up and give him some business and let him know that the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast sent you. And of course, I would be remiss if we don't mention Casual Gaming's Dad Corner. It's so great of a sponsor that we brought him on as a part of the crew here. So Tom, we definitely appreciate you and everything that you've done for our wonderful little band of misfits here. We are excited to.
No way out. No way in. No way out.
Sean doesn't have to. He doesn't have to pay for a subscription.
No,
he gets a free subscription as a sponsor.
Free $99, you asshole.
Yeah.
Send us an envelope. Send us an envelope. Send us an envelope full of nothing.
Tree fitty. I need about tree fitty.
He needs
damn Loch Ness monster.
He needs
God damn Loch Ness monster. Give me tree fit. Don't give the monster no tree fitty.
He needs to send us something though. So he sends us an envelope with a hobo sneeze in it.
Hey, you know what? It's better than these other ungrateful bastards that aren't giving us anything.
Nothing. Again, $49.99.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
gonna start charging. You can't subscribe now.
I'll tell you what doesn't cost $49.99. What actually costs less than $9.99 a month is New Japan Worldwide.
Oh
and
my God!
Oh,
Yeah.
listen to this guy tramping
I know.
all over my spot as the niche audience guy. Oh man, Tom coming in.
I'm
and-
telling you, nobody does a segue better than Tom. No,
I
he
got
does.
I
It's
got lots of
because
practice.
it takes a really deep sense of cheesiness and clichéedness, and by God, Tom, you just bring that
You're damn
delicious
right.
little bit to the podcast.
You damn right.
You really
my.
do.
You're damn right.
You're damn right.
damn.
Tree fitting. All right, go on.
But I was actually going to throw it over to Beef the Legend before he started getting all huffy and puffy there.
He's always puffy.
No man, hey, I Puff Life. That's right, Puff Life. I am, fucking
I'm
thrilled.
dying already.
I am.
Beefly puff.
Oh my goodness,
He's
there it
only
is.
puff.
There it is.
Oh, he's
the-
not
Oh,
puffy.
there's the
Beefly
shirt. That's
Puff.
the first two official shirts, Beefly Puff and $49.99, and on the back, real small. You idiots.
You know what? I'm going to talk to my sponsor about that when they start adding
Oh,
new
boy.
pages in
Oh boy.
in the fall. I'm gonna hook you guys up. Hopefully.
Oh,
Yes,
look at
please.
that.
Anyway,
Anyways,
no man, I'm super
Hashtag
I'm hashtag Beefly Puff. I'm super stoked that I could get you on board with NJPW and Poot. I've been
So
trying to bring
good.
him on board.
Oh, what?
I just gotta get Ransom.
Whoa. You brought me on board a while ago, man.
Okay, that's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
I just started my ride today with New Japan. It was amazing.
The more good wrestling that we can all watch, we being us and the viewership, the better. Because we sit here and we complain time in, time out about Raw,
Yep.
SmackDown, and the pay-per-views, and it's just Dominion was so good, and I definitely want to talk about the cards of the year so far because I think this is right up in that conversation. I put it right below the last two that we've seen. Of course, Super Showdown #1, of course. But,
Fuck. I'll get to that later. Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
shot #1 fired. But yeah, no, I mean Dominion, New Japan, their pay-per-views, so their regular viewing, it's kind of wonky in that they do preview matches because they usually run 2-3 nights at a time, and they do preview matches. So one night they'll have a tag team match with two guys who are facing each other. The next night the two guys will actually face each other. It's kind of weird. It's a lot to get used to, but their pay-per-views, they nail it because they do amazing things with pacing, with making the matches in the right order. I mean, it goes through a crescendo.
If I may, the biggest thing that I love about New Japan that they do with Wrestle Kingdom and Dominion is, they have the hype packages that they put together occasionally, for the really big keynote matches. But one of the things that I love that they do is that they go, match, it's over. If there's a belt, they put it on the person, they let them celebrate, they take them out a separate exit, and the next match rolls on. It is action,
No fucking fluff.
action.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
did notice
killer,
that today when I
all
was
killer, no filler.
How is their how's their pay-per-view production quality? Because I've never watched anything for New Japan. Is it
It's
pretty
great.
much on par with the AEW?
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
I would say it was pretty on par with it. I mean, this is the first New Japan event that I had actually watched. Just watching Dominion today. No kidding. 9:30 in the morning, my daughter asked me, "Can we watch TV?" And I'm like, 1, I don't have cable. 2, my digital antenna's being shit. And 3, there's nothing good on at 9:30 in the morning anyways. But then the follow-up question was priceless. She asked me, "Can we watch wrestling?" And I said, yes, child, we can.
Oh,
Yes, child.
and,
she knows.
she's
and
growing.
I told her,
she's
and
learning.
I warned her ahead of time. I said, she likes to ask me, she'll ask me, which wrestler do you want to win? And I always tell her, who I like. And she's like, oh yeah, I want them to win too. Okay. That's cute.
That's adorable.
It is. but I told her, I was like, now Daddy doesn't know who these people are. I was like, and it's in Japanese. I was like, so here, my answer ahead of time for you is I don't know. And sure enough, she asked me, but it was great. She was in and out. She watched a little bit here and there, but from like 9:30 on today, it was easily broken up into the 5 parts, which was really nice. About 45, 50 minutes a piece. Production wise was really good. I definitely put it up there with a high end takeover, low end Double or Nothing. I'd say just
it sits in that sweet spot, man. Right in that sweet spot.
Yeah, man.
It really is
good for them.
And even I'll tell you what, there was I know I'll miss the names, so I'm assuming Beef will jump in with the save on that. But the never open weight championship.
Tomohiro Ishii versus Taichi.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, say that
Bless
5
you.
times fast. Yeah,
Bless you.
Bumblebee Tuna.
And I'm already doing
Me too.
job than JR on Access TV. We're talking about matches and everything. I do want to tell our viewers out there, yes, New Japan is on Access every that's AXS TV every Friday night. JR,
Right.
I think he still is, but it's JR and Josh Barnett. Do yourself a favor though, check out New Japan World and hear Kevin Kelly and Don Callis call it, because I think that those two are better than JR and Josh Barnett. But that's just my 2 cents.
I will say this: Don Callis is much like Bray Wyatt, is a fucking treasure. Like Don Callis is he is the quintessential heel commentator.
Now, my only question, but I'll get to that here in a second with the commentary thing. Even with the that particular match, the Never Open Weight Championship, I know nothing about these two guys. Obviously, everything's in Japanese, besides the English commentary. And then, every once in a while, like when you see the match, like, or when the people are coming out, they show like who it is or something. The little graphics, everything will be in Japanese, and then it'll have like whoever, John Moxley or whoever. But I was able still to pick up that there was a sense of like there was a good back and forth. There was some sort of backstory between these two. And even though I didn't really know necessarily at first who was the face or the heel, just on the initial entrances, it was easy to pick up, obviously, from the crowd. Everything was really done well. The like you said, the production wise, like the storytelling and stuff like that. The match buildups were good. The crowd was really good. My only question
Which is weird.
I know, right?
And I'll butt in here. Usually the crowd is super like quiet and like reserved, but they were like into this event. So I don't know if that's like a westernization or what's happening, but it was weird.
I think it's because
is that kind of how like the Japanese crowds are? Are they like, they're
super like quiet and polite. Exactly.
They're watching it they're watching it like they would watch if like a real
movie.
Sporting event, a movie, or they were watching like they over in Japan, they treat wrestling like it's covered and treated with the respect that like baseball and football is over here.
Yes, is.
And the thing is, Tom, you didn't know like who's the heel, who's the face, who's the this. You got that because you understood eventually, and you're watching the match and you got it because you saw they were telling the story in the ring.
Yep. And that's a test. That's a testament to.
But guys, I thought
what a novel idea.
I thought we needed 10-15 minute backstage segments of seeing guys shaving each other's backs to figure out who the good guys and bad guys are.
I mean, it's
shot number 2 fired.
Shot number 2.
It's a struggle not watching. It's a struggle not watching The Young and the Restless during my wrestling. But I still made it work. They made it work. Those NJPW kids, they're up and coming.
I know, right? But so my one question I had, because we touched on this before, talking about JR's commentary, that a lot of times with New Japan, what they'll do is post-production commentary where they have the English commentators, watch the matches back in a room on a monitor, whatever, and then they commentate on it that way. With Dominion, is that the same case, or were they doing live commentary? I wasn't sure.
No, they do. So Kevin Kelly is always there. Kevin Kelly's like their English play-by-play guy, and New Japan World is actually pretty much broadcasting every single event now, more or less, in English. Last year, for the G1 Climax, which is like a big 12, 14-week round robin tournament with like 24 guys. But last year was the first year that they did every single night of the G1 in English. So Kevin Kelly's like their flagship English guy. Kevin Kelly of WWE fame, obviously.
Okay.
And then like the smaller events, different guys will sit in. As part of the Best of the Super Juniors, I know that Juice Robinson did a couple of them. Rocky Romero, he's the guy that always sits in. But like with their pay-per-views, like their big shows, they get Don Callis come in, and then they'll have the translators sit with them as well. What was his name? Charles, I forget his last name, but he's super knowledgeable. He was a British guy. He's super knowledgeable about the Japanese culture, about NJPW period, and about all of the wrestling over in Japan. So he's like super cool. But yeah, no, they do it live.
Because the reason I asked is they were very spot on when they had when guys that were in the ring that were on the microphone and stuff like that were talking, like when one particular person came out to announce themselves to enter in the G1 or into the G1 Classic or G1 Climax, which we'll get to. Yeah, thank you. We'll get to that. They were very quick on translating and everything like that, just kind of giving they say something and he's like, all right, he's thanking him for the opportunity to be here, and they were very good with that. So I was curious as to if it was live or not.
That's what that Charles guy does. He's basically the de facto translator, and like if there's something that comes up in the middle, like
that's something that's cultural that you might not understand.
Exactly. He'll chime in. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's they do a really good job with that. So hats off to them on that. Ransom, did you get a chance to catch any of it yet or no?
No, I have not. I have not watched any of this.
Okay.
Now myself, I only got to watched Naito Ibushi and Dragon Lee.
Fucking brutal war.
Dragon Lee Osprey. And then
so
what was Moxley's match?
Yeah,
Moxley versus Shota Umino,
which was basically an 8-minute squash.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact though, Shota Umino, the referee. So they have like 4 or 5 different referees that they use, much like WWE. But the head referee is Red Shoes.
Yeah.
Red Shoes Uno is what they call him, but his name is actually Red Shoes Umino. Shota Umino, who actually did the job for Jon Moxley, is Red Shoes' son. And last year during Dominion, Chris Jericho came and worked him over pretty good.
Real hard. Real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun fact. But yeah, I mean, I had zero issues with that because Shota Umino started hot. And I think as the match progressed, he kept trying to toughen up. And I think with Moxley helping him out of the ring like that, it really kind of made it seem like he gained Moxley's respect. So I'm all in for putting young guys over like that because that's how you put a young guy over. Even though he has to lose, you have a grizzled vet, take him by the neck and say, "Hey, good job, kid."
And he kind of spun it into his own little thing, where he just even the post match interviews and stuff. He's like, he's like, hold my belt. He's kind of like he was still kind of working. It was part work, part. He was still showing him respect. Yeah, shoot, part. He's doing the interviews with everybody. He's like, oh man. He's like, you're not even. I did see that first. I saw a clip of his post match interview stuff, and he was like, "You guys aren't going to give me a chance to rest, are you?" He's like, he's like, "Here, hold my belt, kid."
Hold my belt, kid.
Yeah, it was funny that he was doing it that way. If you get a chance to go back and watch any of it, Ransom, I will say definitely watch the Osprey match. Pretty much watch the ones that Poot was just mentioned.
Oh my god!
Right.
The Osprey match, and then Ibushi and Naito, which I just got to get it out there. Holy fucking balls! How is Ibushi not dead?
Yeah, if nothing else, Google Naito Naito versus
Actually,
Ibushi,
you know what?
Dominion,
I think I took a video of that because I'm actually gonna show it to my girlfriend because I was telling her about it today.
It was
like it's
a fucking ugly spot. And here's what I told Tom earlier. I was chatting with him as he was watching. I said, if it was anybody else other than like him or like Seth Rollins, like these two dudes treat their bodies like a fucking temple. And if it was anybody else, there's no way that they get up and walk away from that.
Well, I mean,
I just watched it back on my phone because I'm gonna send it to you over Messenger. Like, you don't even need the volume on to watch the clip.
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to you on Messenger real quick, and I want you to let me know if you start watching it. I made like a little 30-second clip of it.
It's probably the nastiest bump that I've seen,
dude,
and honestly,
well, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Osprey's. You remember the one that Osprey took?
Oh yeah, when he was what did he do? Like a Spanish fly?
It was
I
a
think,
Spanish fly on the apron, and he
that was fucking nasty.
He was
too.
executing.
Was this the German suplex you were talking about?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Watch
No,
this.
I didn't see it, but I remember you telling me about it.
Oh my god!
When it comes through on Messenger, it should be hopefully it's coming through here in a minute.
Okay, Poot. I'll say this then. There are very even Owen Hart literally breaking his neck whenever Steve Austin pile drove him. Did not
Or the
look
other
as
way
bad
around.
as that.
The other way around, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, backward. Yeah, did not look that bad whenever it happened. Honestly, like that Sid, the Sid leg breaking thing, that was fucking ugly.
Shut up.
But I'm like, okay,
Shut
you know
up.
what? It's an ankle that can be repaired. Like this, I was like, fuck, if. Luckily, I watched it 5 days after the fact, so I knew that Ibushi was okay. But if I was watching it live, it was terrible.
Why'd you have to bring up the Sid thing? Like, I literally, I heard about it and never watched it because purposely because I don't know if anyone out there, I've mentioned it before. I have a brittle bone condition and I've broken each femur 5 times.
Oh my god, I never knew that.
Oh yeah,
wow.
I have rods in my legs and the whole shebang. So so when I see bones breaking, kind of quote unquote triggers me, but leg breaking especially. And I had never seen it. I'm like, I won't watch it. My one buddy was like, oh dude, let's watch some wrestling botches. And when I was in college, I was like, all right, let's do it. And it was thrown in there in the middle, and it was like cut.
Surprise!
So it was cut so you couldn't miss it.
Surprise,
and
motherfucker.
I watched it all rise, motherfucker. Some fries, motherfucker. The
okay,
but
Ransom,
no. So wait.
Sorry, Ransom.
It happened.
It's sent twice, so
so you can watch it twice as much. So it happened. I saw it, and he landed, and his leg folded, and I immediately vomited. I was sitting there, and it wasn't even like a retch. I ran away. It was like my body just went and evacuate. I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
That's all right, man.
No, that clip, I stood up whenever I saw Ibushi take that bump. I stood up and I started yelling, "Oh my god, Ibushi's dead! Oh my god, he's dead!"
That voice clip you sent over Messenger, I started cracking up. You're just like, "Oh my god, Ibushi's dead!" I was just thinking back to the days of JR with Mankind falling off the
Good God, that
my god,
dead.
That man's got a family.
Well, and here's the thing, another fucking testament to Ibushi, man. He gets up and he fucking finishes the match, and it's not like the match just ended. There was another 10 to 15 minutes of big time spots after that. So it's holy fuck.
Well, how about let's not take away from Naito taking that tombstone.
Oh yeah.
That was it was a reverse or inverse axe guillotine driver. Yeah, that was fucking sick looking too.
Was nasty.
Yeah. Now let me know if you do end up going to watch it or not, Ransom, because I want to hear your reaction when you see this.
Okay.
So.
I want to ask you a question here. And if you guys have more New Japan to talk about, that's fine. But at one point, I do want to know: did anybody watch Raw from this week?
Oh yeah, I did.
I didn't hear anything about it.
I did. I don't remember it. That shows
I didn't.
I
watched a little.
I gave it a chance. Yeah, I gave it a chance. To be fair, I'm a big fan of Fallout 76, so I've been they just debuted a new game mode, so I've been balls deep in that all week. But so I gave Raw a chance, and the only thing that really kept me watching was that 6-man tag match. After the 6-man tag match, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's pretty much everybody I wanted to see on Raw, so deuces.
I will say one thing about well, I'll get back to Raw. The one other thing I wanted to say about the Dominion card, because I don't want to give away a whole lot of spoilers because
you know what though, it's been out there for 5 days.
But even
this
still,
isn't.
I know. Well, more so for Ransom's sake, because I really do want him to watch it, because the Beef put it best when he told me about it today, was that the whole card for Dominion was good, and it was one of those things, like, each match was good, but like when it started off, like, okay, yeah, the Moxley match was good, but it progressively got better, and it crescendoed with the Naito Ibushi match, and then the Jericho Okada match as the main event. It was still good, but not like, oh my god, fantastic, amazing good, but it was still good. Heel Jericho makes everything work. He's just
Well, here's something, and here's something I talked about in my Beast Wrestling review on Thursdays today. I talked about that I'm not worried that so much that this was a clunker, because it was a okay match, but the problem is that based upon the rest of the card, it didn't live up to the main event hype. My issue is that this is kind of the second time in as many months that a Jericho match has kind of not hit all those check boxes, which is worrisome, because he's the guy that AEW put the money into. He's the guy that AEW hung their hat on and said, look, we have like the GOAT, one of the GOATs.
Well, let me pose this to you though. If, like, dude, even the best in the world, the greatest of all time, even the greatest of all time has an off night, and it might not have even been him. It might have been Okada. Like, it might have been Okada, who
widely regarded as the best wrestler in the world. Now, than, oh, by the way, the other guy that he had a clunk with last month, which was Kenny Omega.
All right. Calm down.
I'm just saying it's a pattern. I'm saying it's a pattern with two guys who are.
I know. I'm not saying
considered top 5 right now.
I know. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. Calm down. So like, my point was, maybe it's just one of those scenarios where these two guys, and you can criticize Okada all you want for being New Japan's John Cena and stuff like that, but he is really good, and we all know how good Jericho is. But you know what? Sometimes oil and water, not even sometimes, like, oil and water don't mix. Maybe it was the night. Maybe it was just like, oh, they both had a bad night. Maybe they just don't gel.
You're not
as
hearing
opponents.
me though. You're not hearing me though. Like last month.
Oh no,
I'm
hearing you. You're very
nothing,
loud. I'm hearing you.
That Double or Nothing.
Let me ask this real quick though. Let me ask this to Beef. Is it possible that, in your eyes, these two Jericho matches, might be a little on the stinker side because of the quality and the caliber of the other matches on the card, both at New Japan and at AEW? If you take these two Jericho matches, the one against Okada and the one against Omega, if you put them on, say, any WWE pay-per-view, are they rising to the top at that point? Maybe it's not because Jericho has a stinker of a match and is, losing a step. Maybe it's just because the quality and the caliber of the other matches, it's hard to live up to that.
Do you also think, let me add on to that, do you think that it's also because everyone's like expectations were so high they could never be met?
So.
And I'll say this while you're thinking about that, is that I didn't see the Jericho Okada match, but for me, the Jericho Omega match, if you put that on any WWE pay-per-view from recent history, I would say that match would probably be one of the better ones that I would have seen on a WWE pay-per-view.
So yes, and yeah, that's so, and I did mention that in my review as well. That basically, if we're putting this to WWE standards, they knocked it out of the park. But yeah, I mean, I do hold AEW and New Japan to higher standards than I do WWE, because I know that there aren't monkeys at the controls for those two companies. But that being said, so let me go
like that.
I know, right? Let me go further back. Last year at Dominion, Jericho faced Naito, and then previous to that, he faced Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12. And that's, I mean, I don't know if he's made WWE appearances in between there. I'm sure he has, but oh yeah, he did because he showed up with the Alpha Club shirt on. Anyway, like those two went to like a street fight, like kind of hardcore, like all over the place style, which is very enchanting to watch, but not something that whenever you think of Chris Jericho, you don't. And I understand that this is like a new, exciting Chris Jericho and all that, and I'm all for it. And I'm there for the character, man. I think this heel Jericho might be his best work. Other than maybe Suit Jericho, like the short hair Suit Jericho, that was pretty damn good. But like this heel Jericho might be the best he's ever done. But that being said, prior to these two matches, which I think were below the level in my opinion, the other two matches had to go hardcore, had to go extreme, had to go crazy to kind of get to the level. So I'm not saying that he doesn't have anything left in the tank. I don't know, man. It might be a lack of focus thing because he has a dozen and one things going on. Who knows? It's a seed of doubt in my mind. That's all I'm saying is that it's a little thing that bugs me whenever AEW is like, this is our guy, and you're expecting him to like give you the keys to the kingdom, as it were, and the track record of the last couple of years has not been friendly to him. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think it might be, even if it's not necessarily, even if AEW isn't saying like this is the guy, like you said, is going to give us the keys to the kingdom. Even if I hate to say it, okay, I hate to draw this comparison, and it's almost a segue into the opposite end of the spectrum. When you have guys that are past their prime, Jericho's still got plenty left in the tank. He might be a step or two. He might be a step or two off. But I think a big part of it is like what you said. It could be lack of focus and things like that. If nothing else, even if in ring he doesn't deliver up to AEW's expectations, name notoriety wise, he's going to do a lot for their company because. Just because he is such a huge name, I
think character-wise, even in ring,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah, definitely.
Even if he doesn't deliver in the ring like he used to, because the lion salts look a little bit rusty. Not bad; they still look really great, but not as smooth and everything as they used to. I mean. It's little things like that you see, like you see kind of the sheen coming off of him, but it's still, he's still fantastic. But
absolutely.
I think more like him being there and providing a foil and putting over the young guys, which I think Jericho has no problem doing whatsoever. I think him being there, doing that, and providing that super good the super good mic skills he has, and the ability that he has to work a compelling story not outside the ring, which is, I understand we talk so much about they need to do more character work in the ring. I'll tell you what, whenever character work is done outside the ring in ring segments and like backstage segments, if anyone can make those compelling, interesting, and fun and have purpose, Jericho is the guy to do it.
Best in the world, definitely.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
also kind of compare Jericho. Sorry, go ahead.
Unless he's the only one who's better is Shawn Michaels because he's super kick Stan. That's still one of my favorite things he's ever done. Is super kicking
Look what
Ty
you made me
Dillinger.
do.
I kick Stan. Like that was also a fun fact. That's Ty Dillinger.
I was about to say that super kick was a perfect 10 right there.
Poor
And
Ty.
All right, you're done.
Fair,
I'm kicking you out. Bye, Tom.
Kind of my nice. This is kind of my night of hot takes. I'm being a little bit kind of progressive with the ideas that I'm going to kind of, because they make for interesting discussion. So yes, that was hot take number one. Go ahead, Ransom. You were going to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say, Ransom. Go ahead.
I just wanted to I don't know. I see validity in your points there, Beef, about maybe he's slowing down, or maybe he's, missing this or missing that. But there's part of me that still says, as at least of right now, notoriety-wise, WWE is still on top. They're still the measuring stick.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like WWE is still the big league. When you aspire to be in wrestling, you aspire to get to the WWE.
That might be okay. Go on.
Right now, I don't know what the future holds. Right now, it is. WWE is a worldwide company. Several different countries they're involved in. Look at all the different announcers they have for all the different languages, all these different countries.
Yeah.
So, just saying, as of right now, at least, notoriety-wise or whatever, WWE is the measuring stick. They're the top.
Right.
If you take WWE's top guys that they've had over the past few years, and I go back to, even the early 2000s, you've got Batista, John Cena, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, The Rock, Stone Cold, Orton. If you look at all of those guys, I think at all those guys at their best work, in their prime, and you compare them to the work that Jericho is doing now, I don't see Jericho as being anywhere below them.
You're right.
Jericho Omega, because I can't speak to Jericho Okada. It wasn't sloppy. It wasn't botchy. They weren't blown up 5 minutes into it. For me, it was a good, solid match. And if you compare those to any match that John Cena has had, Triple H when he was the champion, Batista when he was the champion, Stone Cold when he was the champion, Chris Jericho's work right now is no worse than theirs were at their prime. So that's what leads me to believe that, maybe it's just because of the caliber that was also on the show, to where people look and go, well, I expected so much more out of Jericho. Look what the Young Bucks did. Look what Cody and Dustin did, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you compare Jericho to WWE's main guys, he's still better.
You have a great point there, Ransom. And actually, I was just as soon as you mentioned the Young Bucks, that thought, a new thought popped immediately in my head. Number one, there's so many different styles of wrestling. There's a number of different styles, because you have high spot guys like the Young Bucks. Okay, for people that love the big spots, the oh my god moments, you're gonna love the Young Bucks. If you wanted a really hard-hitting match, the really traditional like Japanese style wrestling, you're gonna like somebody a little bit more like Kenny Omega, who can also do, I'm sure, I haven't seen his whole body of work, but I'm assuming can do some of the oh my god spots as well. But and then you look at some stuff that's more European style. That's you look at
dude,
the dragon style.
Me. You scared me. Like I literally jumped in my chair. I feel like he swallows his mic and puts it in his stomach to make that happen.
And it comes all the way back up.
God.
All the way back up.
You never know what I'm doing.
God bless it.
That's why we love him. It's just the absolute madman.
Yeah. But, that's why we love him. Yeah.
I know, right? Well, let's hold on. Once again, let's not go saying things that we can't take back.
Poot says as he is feverishly scrambling to fix levels as Ransom blows up the podcast for 5 minutes.
I can't predict that because it comes in waves. It happens like 5 or 6 in 2 minutes, and then it goes like 2 years, and he won't burp, and then he'll burp, and then an earthquake happens in Japan. Anyway, get back to your serious point.
And then you have like a European style, which is a little bit more catch, a little bit more technical. When you're sitting there and you're looking at previous matches that came before, you're saying, Jericho didn't live up. If there's a fan that goes, oh, well, that didn't live up to my expectations. Look what the Young Bucks did. Look at what Dustin and Cody did. Well, those two, all three of those matches, Young Bucks, Cody, and Jericho Omega, all back to back on the card for Double or Nothing. Those were all three very different
style matches.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah. So and you had different stories that you were telling as well.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
Cody Dustin had that emotional story that they were telling. Jericho and Omega didn't have.
It was just a hard hitting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't the brother versus brother, the family struggle match. It wasn't any of that. And it wasn't the
Right.
high-flying, super spotty match. It was
And I
a
think-
solid wrestling match
Right.
between those two guys. And when I
Right.
look
And
at it,
I
I
think
judge
that
it on the
that's-
fact that they weren't botchy, they weren't blown up. It was a good match from start to finish. You didn't have to have a series of rest holds so that guys could catch their breath, so
Right.
that they could put on the last 5 minutes of the match. It was a solid match from start to finish, in my opinion. So I don't
And-
buy into the whole he's losing it deal.
That's fair. Well, and then like I said, that's just kind of a hot take, but I think that's and I we always seem to circle back to AEW because they're what's hot right now. But I think
It's
that's
the
what
new
AEW
thing.
does. Right, and I think that's what AEW does better than either New Japan or WWE. It's giving you a diverse showcase. You like women's matches,
Yes.
here's some great women. If you like Joshi
Yes.
Puroresu, Japanese women matches, here's those. If you like comedy, here's fucking Orange Cassidy, never taking his fucking hands out of his pockets. If
Yep.
you like, hard hitting, brutal affairs, here's Cody versus Dustin. If you like great wrestling, here's Kenny Omega. If you like, high spots, here's the Bucks. And that's kind of what they're preaching, man. They're bringing it to the table and they're saying this is wrestling for everybody. No matter
It's a
what you
diverse
enjoy,
show.
you're
Well,
going
that's-
to enjoy our show.
It's a diverse show for sure.
Yeah, I think that goes right into the title of the company, All Elite Wrestling. It's all forms and all types of wrestling from all over the world. One other thing I want to make a quick point of, in case anybody listens to this over the course of the how many ever episodes. This is what, episode 9 now. So we sit here and we throw a lot of salt at WWE, but Ransom made a very good point earlier on, and I want to further on it, is that WWE still is the measuring stick, because not even just the reach that they have currently, just how global they are, but the fact that they've been doing it for so long. You might have somebody like AEW or whoever that can put on a great quality product as good or better than WWE, which obviously we saw that they can and they have. But the thing is WWE has such a head start and has so many connections and has so much reach everywhere.
Hold on, Tom. Did you just say that Double or Nothing was as good or better than WrestleMania quality?
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute.
You know what?
No, guys, that's impossible. There's only one show that can do that.
Oh no. We'll get to that.
Oh, Tom's locking that in his back pocket.
I feel like Tom's going to be Captain Salt on that one.
Oh, I am. I've got a lot of salt for that, but I want to before I get to that salt. Now we may be sitting here talking about saying, has Jericho lost the tub? Has he not? Don't get me wrong, or anybody else. And I think I speak for the other three gentlemen here. I use that. That's a very loose term.
Thank you.
But yes, but one thing I was actually just mentioning to somebody about tonight, my last client of the evening at work, actually. Somehow we got on the topic of wrestling. I think her son is a wrestler, not professional wrestling, but he wrestles
real wrestling, Greco-Roman.
Yeah. But she said that she was a fan back in the day and stuff, and we got to talking about it. And I told her about the podcast, and I said we approach things not only as fans of the product, but also an analytical standpoint. Like, we're going to sit here and we're going to pose the questions and stuff like that. That's not to say that we don't enjoy some of that we don't enjoy the WWE product.
Oh no, we do.
In general, we do. But just like anything, there's always room for critiquing. It's much just like the wrestlers themselves, who will go back and watch their matches and say, what can I do better? How was this spot? How was that spot? Etc.
And I think an apt metaphor, Tom, to that would be the city of Pittsburgh, which is, again, our demographic here, theoretically. If you tune into 93.1 the Monday after a Steelers loss, man, everything's fucking doom and gloom, and Ben did this wrong, and, this wide receiver didn't do that, or the defense sucked, and this, that. I mean, they just don't have the fans. Maybe it's all over, but especially in Pittsburgh, it feels like the fans are like, okay, the world's falling, the Steelers lost. I think that we approach the WWE product and wrestling in general from the same standpoint, where it's like, okay, we build it up in our heads because we know what it could be. Gentlemen, look at the list of champions right now. I'm going to name them off. Rollins,
Yep.
Kofi Kingston, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, The Revival, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, Bayley, Becky Lynch, all people who I put in like my top probably 20 or 30 in the world, which is, a big number, but all the same, like they're people that I saw in the indies and I was like, yeah, man, I can't wait to see, X, Y, or Z come through. They're all champions. And yet here we are yawning about the product because we know what it could be and it's not. And that's what's killing us.
Yes. So Ransom had asked me earlier if anybody, or he'd asked us all if anybody had watched Raw. Did you get to watch Raw or SmackDown at all, Ransom?
No, no. I it's been a long time since I've watched a Raw or a SmackDown.
Okay.
The product is disinteresting to me, and I just don't have time. I have fire practice every Monday night, so watching Raw live is not happening for me, and I just don't have time to go back and rewatch them on like Hulu or something.
Okay. Well, even still, I apparently. Who was it? Braun Strowman's match. I didn't even catch on. I don't think it was on Hulu. The Hulu playback for Raw is literally half the time. It's an hour and a half. SmackDown, you get the full thing, but for some reason, for some reason, Raw is like, nope, we're just gonna.
Wait, Tom. He was in the 6-man tag team match. You're saying that they cut the 6-man tag team match?
I think they did
with Ricochet and Cesaro and Joe. It wasn't. Wow, to me that was like the highlight of Raw. Wow.
Yeah. They cut that. So one thing, and that's
sure they didn't cut very many backstage segments though. I'm sure they had all of those.
Right.
Well, they definitely didn't cut the big dog. Yeah.
It's the big dog.
But so one thing. Continuing on the note of positivity and then very quickly descending into the salt. One good thing that I thought I was dead wrong on, the Revival getting the nod and getting the belts put on. They're the new Raw Tag Team Champions. I thought that whenever they added the Usos in to make it a triple threat tag team match, I thought it was going to be a way for them to shit all over the Revival, and they somehow proved me wrong. So I don't know how the hell that happened, but
we're in a weird place with wrestling, like we got guys like Jericho and Moxley who are full-time AEW, but they're across the pond working in New Japan, and both guys could potentially be part of the G1, which is a grueling tournament. And then on the other side of the country, basically, we have guys like the Revival who asked for their release, and then this is their second title reign since and before the release, by the way, or before they asked, 0 title reigns. You have guys like the Usos who were mulling over leaving. They were rewarded with the title reign. So it's a weird time in wrestling.
I want to touch on something real quick too before we descend into the madness.
Yeah.
This just goes off of something that you just brought up, Beef, and I feel like that's one of the things that WWE could probably do to make their product and their talent a lot better. Is these young new promotions, these indie promotions, they're doing, the guys that are signed with AEW are still permitted to go and work other territories. WWE had that back in the day when the territories across the United States were prominent. But WWE now, you've got guys, you sign with WWE, you are WWE.
Well,
you cannot go and wrestle a match in TNA. You can't go wrestle a match in New Japan. Shut up!
Even though they're independent contractors.
Oh, see, you let him talk. Shut
up, Beef. You're the worst. You're the worst, and I hate you, and I hope you get gout.
Ouch.
Yeah, take that.
Wow. Hey, that's a royal disease, so you should take credit for that, Beef.
That's true. But I feel like maybe if WWE did that with, especially their top guys, the guys that they're really trying to market, really trying to push. If you sent Roman Reigns to a New Japan show and let him just go nuts, or you sent, I'm not saying that these guys need it, but man, WWE's product is staler than old garbage. Where the fuck was AJ Styles?
Thank you.
Right? How about Nakamura?
Well, and
Why
here's
can't these guys go out and wrestle one match?
Black, Aleister Black. Where the fuck has Black been since WrestleMania?
He's been cutting weird promos on a high school yearbook photo set. Like that's what he's been doing.
I feel like you know what the causation is. The causation. This all goes back to the fucking wild card, because now the brand extension, which is supposed to highlight individual talents, we're seeing the same 5 guys over again. And by the way, one of them is fucking Shane McMahon.
Yeah, that's okay. Before we get to how terrible that is,
I feel like I feel like this harkens way back to the WWE's purchase of WCW.
Okay.
I'm sure Beef knows this because he's one of those freaking stupid wrestling historians. But the idea back in the day was when WWE purchased WCW, they were actually going to make Monday Night Raw the WCW show. And they were going to make SmackDown the WWE show. They would have competing shows, completely different writing staff, completely different wrestlers. They don't intermingle, they don't intermix, except for maybe 1 or 2 pay-per-views a year. But Raw was supposed to be the WCW
Nitro.
guys. It was going to be the Nitro. And it failed because there were so many WCW guys who had those huge, giant AOL Time Warner contracts. They're like, well, no, I've guaranteed money and I don't have to wrestle. I'm not going to come to the WWE. I'm going to ride out my big fat contract. I'm going to sit at home and I'm going to get paid all the money, all the dollars. So that experiment didn't work and it never got off the ground because who did they have? They had
Buff Bagwell,
Canyon, DDP, Bagwell, Sean O'Hare,
Booker,
Mark Gingerak.
Shane Helms.
They had a bunch of, for all intents and purposes,
well, he said Canyon.
mid-card guys. Yeah, they had a bunch of mid-card guys that weren't going to put on a weekly show and have the viewership that Nitro had, or even that Raw or SmackDown at the time had. People weren't going to tune in for that. And I feel like if that would have been a success, if they would have gotten all of the big names from WCW to come over at the time of purchase,
okay,
and the Raw would have been the successful WCW show, maybe that brand split would have been solidified and they would have said, you know what, we're not going to go back to intermingling these talents. Well, maybe we'll have a shakeup where one WWE guy. Well, just hang on. I'm not fucking done yet. Can you just give me a goddamn minute?
I know he's not done.
I haven't fucking hardly talked this whole thing because I've been trying to let everybody else get a word in there. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and let me talk for a second?
Dominion.
Now I'm goddamn derailed.
Hold on. Gonna mute everybody else.
I feel like if that experiment would have worked, maybe right now with the brand split, it would be different. You wouldn't have to have the wild card. And I'm convinced that if you didn't have this wild card bullshit, if the brand split was an actual true brand split to where you had, okay, these guys are strictly this show, these other guys are strictly that show, we have maybe 1 or 2 pay-per-views a year where they intermingle, and that's strictly it, and you adhere to that very, very strictly, you wouldn't be missing, like, where the hell has AJ Styles been? Where the hell has Shinsuke Nakamura been? Where the hell has Aleister Black been? You wouldn't have these problems.
I think the reason why is because, see, here's the thing, Ransom. For all the crap we give you for being a madman, for all the crap we say about all this stuff, you, Beef, Tom, and occasionally me are smart people because we're looking at it from the side of a consumer. Now, the problem is, when you're looking at it from the point of a businessman, what do? You go, this person makes us the most money. Let's saturate the market with that person. And that is the problem. That's the problem, is that we are looking at it at the point from a common sense booking standpoint, if that makes sense. They are looking at it from dollars and cents. What will make us a bunch of money right now? And I think that also leads into the idea that WWE, and this is a problem they've had for years now, they are not looking forward at what is going to make them sustainable. Okay? They're not looking forward to what's going to make them a steady, constant, good stream of money. They're going, how can we cash in right meow? They're going like, Okay, Roman Reigns is selling a lot of merch. Let's get him on every single show. All right, this person's really hot in NXT. They're selling merch and stuff like that. Let's bring him up to the main roster, put him on TV, and have him do this. Oh, okay, we'll put him in mid-card obscurity. We'll just grab him whenever we can. They treat them like commodities because that's their point of view. I'm not justifying what they're doing. What I'm saying is we sit here and we sit on our platforms of why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? It's because for them, they are like the powers that be that aren't Vince McMahon have to be beholden to the idea of make me more money, make this business profitable.
And here's my counter argument to that. Kazuchika Okada. Now, yes, Okada is.
I'm talking strictly
one of the best
WWE.
wrestlers.
I'm talking strictly WWE.
I understand that. But your assertion that that the WWE brass has to put the moneymaker on top. That's what New Japan has done, and that's why Okada, by some smarks, myself included, is not viewed in such a nice, rose-colored light, is because he is the guy that's been shoved down their throat. But even in doing so, the last, Okada's honestly been on top for about 6 or so years now. Even with that, being shoved down people's throats because he is the money guy, they still put together incredible booking. They still put together incredible cards. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes it sucks to see Okada win. I mean, it's a fucking meme. LOL, Okada wins. But, I mean, I just, I see what you're saying, but devil's advocate, I'm telling you that it doesn't need to be like that.
Well, here's the thing with that. You touched right on it in your point right there, Beef, is the way it's booked. You can have you could have a John Cena or a Roman Reigns on a show as long as it's booked smart and as long as it makes sense. If you have here's the perfect example. Now I was listening to Bully Ray's Busted Open podcast today. I didn't get to finish this latest episode, but he was talking about they were arguing whether or not with Heavy Machinery, why they had them go fight this jobber team, the YOLO County Tag Team Champions or whatever. It's you have to book the stuff to make sense too. Like if you just, I'm trying to think of a really good example, but like putting a big name in a bad booking position, it just doesn't work. It's counterproductive.
You mean like WCW?
There. Okay. Well, yeah. There. Like, I really wish I could think of one that jumps right off the top of my head, and I know it's happened in WWE for the life of me. Okay. Well, look at with Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon. Okay. Yeah, Roman Reigns is your money guy.
More respectful to the best in the world, please.
Okay. Yeah. He's the best at getting these nuts. That's right. Come at me,
man.
Shane McMahon.
Tom
go coast to coast.
Tom with the middle school 2001 insult on Shane McMahon. Oh,
yeah.
I gotta say, I love that the best in the world thing went over like a wet fart in our podcast, because I think that's exactly how it's going over in every arena in the world. And I think I said this before. They want to get away from CM Punk. They want to kind of leave that in the past. But yet you bring out his fucking catchphrase. Of course you're going to invoke his fucking chants every fucking time Shane McMahon comes out. Oh, fucking course. What are you fucking thinking?
Now, here's the thing. I don't want to see Shane McMahon booked on the card.
And that fucking statement right there. I don't want to see Shane McMahon. Done.
No. I will say, I can appreciate a good heel because much like whenever my daughter was asking me today, which wrestler do you want to win? Even last night, whenever I was watching NXT, the tag match with Undisputed Era and Oni Lorcan and Danny Burcham, she said, "Who do you want?" Danny Burch. Sorry. She asked, "Who do you want to win?" And I said, "Well, I want Undisputed Era to win." I was like, even though they're the bad guys, technically, I want them to win. I can appreciate a good heel gimmick.
And then you look at her and go, because bad guys are cool, honey. Remember that.
No.
But
Fuck, I'm setting myself up for a fucking aneurysm from ages 12 through 17. Jesus Christ.
But here's the thing. What does a good heel have to do with Shane McMahon?
Okay, now Shane being the heel that he is because nobody wants to see him and he's being shoved down our throats makes us hate him all the more. I can appreciate the comedy of the whole best in the world thing because it is kind of funny. However, I don't think that Shane being put into matches anymore, I don't want to see that. If he comes out and is, acting in whatever backstage sort of role or a GM role or something, or he's, I don't know, whatever. He doesn't need to be in matches, flat out. But that's an example right
self.
there. What's that?
Shane McMahon and his sweaty, dumpy, greasy self.
Because
I still don't understand why Shane McMahon is a talent.
I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Not even
why.
being
Don't
put
you
into
have
matches.
enough?
Like, here's the thing: Shane
McMahon wrestling.
Yeah, winning. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's the fucking problem. It
harkens back to
this year. He's being the fucking Miz and fucking Roman Reigns on big stages. That's huge.
I'll bet you because
you've got Shane McMahon wrestling in main event matches. Where the hell, again, is AJ Styles?
I'll bet
Aleister Black, Rusev. Where are your guys that are actually
I'll
wrestlers?
bet you dollars to donuts it's because they think, oh, you hear those boos out there? Man, he's really getting it. We should just keep pushing him as a heel, pushing him as a heel. What they don't realize backstage, or what at least Vince probably doesn't realize, is the difference between go away heat or real, like, oh, we're engaged and we love to hate this guy heat.
Yeah.
I want to chime in here real quick and just say, while you do put on a valid argument there, Beef, I'm going to agree with, Poot's last tirade about WWE. I want to agree with Poot 110% on that. I feel like everything you said, you nailed it as to what's going on with the WWE product right now.
The business.
Well, here's the thing. Ransom, you brought this up, and I think I definitely want to talk about this, about, guys working, like smaller indie shows. They've let NXT guys and gals go to, like, Progress and stuff, Evolve. But in NXT UK, which, by the way, may be the hardest weekly show that they put on, if I'm being honest, I think it might be better than NXT. But those guys and gals in NXT UK get to go and do whatever the fuck that they want. They get to go and work any other promotion under the sun. It's like WWE doesn't even care, and it's that, I think, is why. And plus, they all, they tape like 8 shows at one time, and I think that's why they jump off the page to me as some of the best stuff out there, is because they have the freedom to do what they want, pretty much.
Yeah, WWE main roster doesn't have that. You don't have guys like Roman Reigns or AJ Styles, Rusev, the guys that aren't even on WWE TV on a weekly basis. You don't have them given the availability or flexibility to go work a one-off somewhere else.
So, which do you think, like, for example, just because I've ruminated on this, where do you think Rusev would thrive more, AEW or NJPW?
New Japan. 100%. Yeah. You tell me you don't want to see Rusev versus Minoru Suzuki, I'm going to call you a liar.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but Suzuki, or not Suzuki, good God, what's wrong with me? Rusev versus Moxley, not Dean Ambrose, Moxley.
That'd be good.
That'd be
damn good.
I'd like to see Rusev versus Dustin, too. I mean, I think
that'd be good.
And not to mention the fact that I think Rusev and Jericho could put on one motherfucker.
Or Rusev, listen, how about this one? Rusev Hangman Page.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, I'm about to give you hot take number 2. I think I'm about to give you hot take number 2. You know where he'd really succeed? Impact. I think that Rusev could be a big name in Impact.
Yeah, but being a big name in Impact is like being the, like, I can't even, like, the best scummiest puddle. Like, I can't even think of a good
Impact is kind of like being the best name on the police blotter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Being the best name on Impact is like being the best person in Mordor up there by Ransom.
So here's the thing.
Garbage. Look, it's 10:26. I want to wrap up on this a little bit because I want to move on to the disaster.
Oh yes,
that was Super Brawl
Super
Saturday.
Suckfest.
All right, now I want to preface this. The only thing that I watched from this was the Oldberg versus the Blundertaker. Or
Same.
the Blundermaker. That's
Same.
all I watched. I didn't watch anything else, but I know the results, so go on.
So here's,
Honestly, I
so
think
here's the
that's
thing.
really
How can
all
we talk
honestly
about
need to
it?
talk about.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
well,
All we need to
that's
talk about that
that's
one
fair.
match.
I actually I caught a YouTube video that kind of hit the highlights and the lowlights. So
Not too many highlights.
exactly, not too many highlights. Okay, pretty much. If you go back to last episode, what I said, the only matches that I would even want to watch from this Super Suckfest, I'm calling it Super Suckfest because it was not a showdown. It was just garbage all around for the most part. But the only matches that were good from all accounts of what I've heard were Rollins and Baron Corbin, a decent, solid match. That's fine. Okay, I expected it to be because it's Seth Rollins. He rarely has a terrible or bad match. Could we all agree
I've never
on that?
seen him. I've never seen him have a bad match.
Okay. The Kofi Ziggler match, which again, two amazing workers. Okay, we knew it would be a good match. But again, the biggest thing for this event was that it was played out like a glorified house show. There were no title changes. There was no big surprises. The biggest surprise you could say would be Mansoor.
AOP.
I was gonna say Mansoor winning the giant clusterfuck rumble.
Well,
or Battle
AOP
Royal.
coming back too was kind of a big deal, but
Oh, they came back? I didn't even hear that.
see, and that's the thing, man. That's why this failed on so many levels, because this is a big tag team that, fucking bells and whistles should have went off, and they should have immediately capitalized on this, and they were in this big stupid battle royal, and then boom, they're
Oh,
gone.
maybe that's why, because they were in the battle royal. It wasn't like
Yep.
they didn't come back for an actual tag match. Go figure.
Nope, they were in the battle royal.
We have a tag team that we're not going to put in a tag match.
So don't worry about it.
So wait. So where did that happen again? Oh yeah, fucking Hawkins and Ryder after winning the titles at WrestleMania, which this is circling back to Raw for a second. Their stupid promo backstage before they had their title defense when they said, "We haven't been beaten since winning these titles." You haven't had a fucking match since winning the titles, you douche. Like, come on. However, I digress. Going back to Super Suckfest. Orton and Triple H, I still didn't watch the match. I think I will go back and watch it at some point because I heard it was probably the best match of the card.
With
Did
those
anybody
two,
else-
I imagine they put
Yeah,
a
you
good,
expect
solid
nothing
match,
less.
but probably nothing that you're going to remember. I mean, you're going to watch it and go, "Oh yeah, that was a good, clean match."
Yeah.
So
But you're
let's
not gonna
talk about the
remember it.
train wreck. Yeah,
Oh, boy.
let's talk about the train wreck. So
Oh, fuck. Oh, man.
I want to
Right
preface
from
it with
the
this.
very beginning, with Goldberg busting his head open on that stupid door.
Yep.
Which
Yeah,
one of you
he's done
timed
that.
it? Which
He's-
I did.
So how long were the entrances, Tom?
All right. Here.
Combined.
I'm gonna give you guys some statistics here.
Okay, yes, that boy, go.
Oh boy, get ready for this. Get ready for this fucking horror fest.
I'm giving you background
Exactly.
music.
Yeah. No. So Goldberg's entrance was 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Undertaker's entrance, a solid 6 minutes and 5 seconds.
Holy fuck,
Holy
6
crap,
minutes?
Really?
Wait,
So
I skipped
10
all that
minutes,
bullshit.
10
So wait
minutes
a
of
minute.
entrances. Fuck
10 minutes,
me.
10 minutes and 25 seconds of entrances. Now, if you remember, and I'm sure all of us and many more people out there in the internet world made the joke, "Oh, their match is going to be shorter than the entrances." Guess how long the match was?
4 minutes.
6
It
minutes,
was
25
it was 7 minutes and 37 seconds.
No. From bell to bell, I went from bell 1 to bell 2. Okay. And keep in mind, this was originally from something that I had heard. They wanted this match to go closer to 20, which I said number 1. Yeah, that was number 1. I laughed like that in my own head. I had the beef laugh.
Oh,
Number 2, How the fuck do you get longer than a 10-minute match out of Goldberg because he can't wrestle his way out of a fucking a sleeping bag? Okay, 8 minutes and 32 seconds.
Jesus.
Wow.
Let that sink in, everybody. 8 minutes and 32 seconds, and they wanted this match to go longer than that with Goldberg in it.
Well, here's the thing. Reportedly, the ring temperature was 100 plus degrees.
Okay.
If you remember the hubbub around WrestleMania, that they had all the reason that they didn't have the Tron ring, the Tron ring aprons and the Tron turnbuckles was because they had all these fucking heaters under the ring in case the fucking the Meadowlands fucking froze over, which in early April is a possibility.
Okay.
Why the fuck can't you have like some sort of like cooling system under the fucking ring too? Because having talents. You're having fucking damn near pushing 60-year-olds wrestling in fucking 100-degree temperatures. You're gonna kill somebody.
Exactly. Now, speaking of killing somebody or damn near killing somebody, I want to talk about something that I heard again on the previous episode of the Busted Open podcast. Mark Henry alluded to something, and basically, Mark Henry was pissed off with fans of the internet and everywhere else giving such shit to the Undertaker and Goldberg for this dumpster fire of a match, which don't kid yourselves. It was a dumpster fire of a match. Okay. Now, first things first, I know they're not going to put on I know they're not going to put on a 5-star match because they're both older than dirt and Goldberg sucks. I hate Goldberg, so just run with that. Just keep in mind, always and forever, Goldberg sucks. Okay.
Well, personal hatred aside, you're not wrong.
Personal hatred aside, the only reason Goldberg was ever put in the positions that he was in was because he was a big, beefy guy that could spear, jackhammer, and he kind of looked like Steve Austin, and that'll win us the Monday Night Wars. Yeah,
Nope.
173-0 means nothing when you can't fucking back it up for more than 2 minutes in the ring. I don't give a shit if you're in the Hall of Fame or not. Kiss my ass. You suck. Number 2. This goes back to something that I mentioned to in last podcast. Not putting people in positions to succeed. What do you expect when you put 2 senior citizens in a ring together? You're not going to have a good quality match. And it's not going to be main event caliber. Mark Henry, Henry got all pissed off because he said, what these fans don't understand is these guys have had such great careers and they've done so much and they still went out there and put on a hell of a performance.
They didn't.
Really? Show me that, Mark. Okay. I got somebody that's close to 50 themselves in Jericho that put on a way fucking better match than Undertaker or Goldberg did.
That's a fact.
Just saying. That's a fact.
That is a fucking fact.
And you could tell, too, if you didn't watch the whole match, I'm sure people listening have seen screenshots. The Undertaker's face at the end of that match.
Oh, he's so pissed.
You don't need to tell a story in that match. All you need to do is look at the Undertaker's face at the end of that match. The disappointment and disgust on his face tells the story of what that match was.
And the other biggest thing, and this is where I'm going to disagree completely with Mark Henry. First, I respect the man in his career, and I know everybody's entitled to their opinion, and my opinion completely disagrees with him. He commended Undertaker. He commended more so Goldberg for being able to carry on in the match after he was obviously, and by all accounts and reports,
allegedly.
Listen, take that tinfoil hat off. You're getting interference with your microphone.
No, bullshit. Anytime that anybody has any shitty match, I had a concussion. That's what we heard about fucking Lesnar versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. That Taker had a concussion. You know what? Like, yes, and that one may have been true, but I don't fucking buy it because that shot into the turnbuckle. Well, first of all, I mean, I know that Goldberg sucks, but that shot into the fucking turnbuckle is something that fucking rookies do when they're running the ropes. There's no way that you can cut yourself on that fucking shot.
He's been out of the business. And what probably happened is he took that bump, okay? And he concussed the shit out of himself. And then when I got a gig and he gigged himself, And by the way, greener than grass. What does gigged mean, Ransom?
Fake.
No.
Nope.
No.
Oh, I
What
don't know.
kind of?
Gigging yourself is taking the old blade trick and donning the red curtain.
Oh, well.
Oh, look at this guy throwing out all the nomenclature. No, but like that's the thing is he probably concussed the shit out of himself and went, I got a gig, and then gigged himself super deep, and that probably threw him off even more.
Now,
I don't fucking buy it. I don't.
Well-
I'm just saying. I don't buy the concussion. He's
In any case-
trying to cover. He's trying to cover his ass. But go on, Tom.
in any case, regardless if he was legitimately concussed or not, Mark Henry commended him for carrying on the match and putting on the show and not stopping. Okay, I'm sorry. Number one, I don't care how tough you are or anything like that. If you were concussed, you're putting not only yourself in jeopardy, but also you're putting a living legend like The Undertaker in jeopardy too. And they did just that because Goldberg couldn't pick him up for the jackhammer, whether he was concussed or whether he was just blown up and couldn't do the match. He fucking botched his jackhammer, which could have seriously injured The Undertaker. And then Undertaker, surprisingly, which I have not seen, I can't recall a time where I've seen this, The Undertaker botching the tombstone, he could have fucking killed Goldberg with that, okay? Which is why you don't see, between that and the Owen Hart Austin Piledriver, you don't see Piledrivers done anymore. The only ones that would ever do Piledrivers were tombstone Piledrivers done by Undertaker and Kane.
Because they know how to really deliver them safely.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something I definitely want to touch on is that you got to know. Yes, Goldberg took a big check for this, and I'm sure that he wanted to put on a great show to kind of legitimize that. And I'm sure that he hears people like us out there, not us specifically, but the haters, as it were.
Yeah.
And he wanted to say, you know what, I'm gonna go spit in their fucking faces, and I'm sure that that's all fucking part of it. But
Well,
I
he
mean,
didn't.
man, whenever
Yeah.
whenever you can't nail your own fucking finisher. Whenever you are so terrible that because wrestling is a ballet. Let's not fucking kid ourselves. It is about two people who are partners working together. Whenever you fucking fuck up your own move and then fuck up the other person's move, like it's he's so bad. He's so bad.
But here's the thing. You gotta respect the limits. If WWE it wants to be, praise if they want to work a safer product compared to like New Japan or the Indies or anything like that, which they do not put people in a position to set them up for failure like you do with this. I don't care how much of a draw you think it's going to be. It was not. That was not a main event match.
No.
Either one of them could have been seriously injured or died. And I'm sorry. Another thing, again, I'm shitting all over Mark Henry, and well, sorry, but he seems to be under the impression that everybody is saying that what I think he's saying whenever he talks about this, how disappointed he is with the fans shitting all over this match. I'm not shitting all over Undertaker's career. He's had a great career, but fucking don't let him go out on a sour note like this.
Well,
It's time.
Well, the thing is,
he should have already had his moment to go out. If you can go out and you can work and do that and put on a good performance, that's fine. But like I said before, is that when you put Undertaker in the ring nowadays, you have to have somebody who can carry him, and Goldberg was not the man to carry him.
Well, no, and that's the thing. But backstage, they wanted Taker to carry Goldberg, and
exactly,
and that's the problem is he can't possibly do that. But
set him up for failure.
Here's a little bit. I didn't have one planned, but here's a little bit of a swan song. Okay, impromptu swan song. Is everyone okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's the swan song. People will talk about how this, if this is, which presumably it will be Undertaker's last match, presumably. And, you have that image of him like kind of grimacing at the fact that the match was so terrible because Goldberg is a sack of garbage. However, people at the end of the day will not remember this match as Undertaker's legacy. They will not remember like the trash fire matches, like the one that they had. It was Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus the Brothers of Destruction. They won't remember that. They won't remember those things. What they will remember is like, you know, the all the casket matches. They'll remember the streak. They'll remember all the contributions he had. The fact that we know that he was an indelible locker room leader. Like, we will remember Undertaker no matter what they throw his way. Sure, we'll go, oh, man, that was a rough ending. But by God, it didn't define 99.9% of that man's career. Like, we will remember Undertaker in a good light. We will remember Undertaker in a strong, powerful, like, defining time. And an icon of pro wrestling. He's a household name. He's a pop culture. He's part of the pop culture zeitgeist. People who don't watch wrestling know the Undertaker. They do. And like so we will not remember this. We will not remember the whimper that it's gone out on. We will remember the glorious symphony that he has given us over the years. And the best part of it all, in turn, what are people going to remember Goldberg for? They're not going to remember Goldberg for his streak, no matter how they package it. You know what they're going to remember Goldberg for? They're going to remember Goldberg being brought back for this stuff. It's the inverse. That's what they're going to remember Goldberg for.
I hope you're right.
But I think
That's
the
a great
crying
point.
shame and all this, though, and I agree with you 100% there, Poot. But somebody with the career and the talent, legacy of The Undertaker, this should not be his last match. The Undertaker should go out.
It won't be.
His
I guarantee it.
last match. It should be a bar. It should be an amazing match. It should be one of those matches where you go, you know what? This stands up with the amazing career that he's had over the course of his life. And I'm really, really hoping that you're right, Beef. I'm hoping that this isn't his last one, because I don't think he deserves to go out this way.
WWE just put him in a huge.
I agree with Poot. You're not going to remember this Undertaker as you know what I mean? It's not going to cement his career, this match. You're
Right.
100% right, but he deserves to have a proper send-off, not
I
one
agree.
with fucking Goldberg in Saudi Arabia.
He had it. And even though the match wasn't great, he
Yep.
had it
I
with
agree.
Roman Reigns.
He
Yep,
did.
that should have been it then. And
Yep.
it
Yes,
wasn't.
it should have been.
Agreed,
Yeah,
agreed.
Yep. And he left the hat and the coat in the ring, and I was like, "That's it. If that's the last Undertaker match, like, yeah, I'm sorry that it went down that way, and I'm sorry that the match wasn't that great, but at least it was a good moment."
You know what?
And if
Sorry, go ahead, Beef. I'll let you.
I was gonna say if the man so I have a feeling that Vince gave him this huge contract to keep him off of Starcast and to keep him out of independent hands and everything, so that they could kind of control him. They're gonna keep trying him out here like a dog and pony show. But even if the man Mark Calloway says, "You know what? Fuck it. I almost died in that match. Fuck it. I'm done." Even if that's the case, I don't know, man. I feel like that's a pretty big mar on his career, and I agree with Ransom. He should have left to settle at WrestleMania and let that be it.
Well, here's the thing with that. I wholeheartedly agree with you all in saying that, and especially Poot's point. That's not how that, and I had even mentioned it to appease the big angry Mark Henry, was that I'm not saying, and I hope other fans that are criticizing this match aren't saying that this isn't to say that this match defined Undertaker's career, because it doesn't. He's had a great career, but that's one of those things. It's like, okay, like, get out while the getting's good, sort of thing. You had that match with Roman Reigns, and I agree that was a perfect opportunity right there, because for a number of years I had said to other friends of mine, shout out to my friends Bill and Molly, because we talked about this a lot in all of our days of watching wrestling together, is that if Undertaker was supposed to have a last match, now this was like before the streak ended with Brock, okay? if he were to have a match, and the streak was going to end, we always assumed it was going to be somebody he would pass the torch to. Okay, whether you agree with it or not, because I know Roman Reigns, the big dog, is shoved down our throats night after night, and we sit here and we get salty about it. But in the eyes of WWE, Roman Reigns is, the next guy to carry the company. He's this generation's Hogan, or he's this generation's Cena, or whatever. And I think that was also very fitting and telling when you had the match. What was it, a year and a half or two ago with Cena and Reigns? When they had the whole thing going on, and Cena's like, it's called a promo. You're gonna have to learn to do one. And Cena lost that match. Okay. All that pointing to Roman's our guy. He's the one we want to be the torchbearer. That WrestleMania match between Roman Reigns and Taker could have and should have been the sign of passing the torch and saying, here you go. It's yours. You officially have my endorsement. As I'm sure you have the rest of the company's endorsement already. And
but Tom, you're leaving all that big fat Saudi money on the table because they have all these big open checks. Hey, we want the Undertaker. We want fucking Andre the Giant. We want Yokozuna. We want fucking Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan.
Well, if they keep this shit up, booking Undertaker like this, he's gonna be joining the ranks of Macho Man and Yokozuna and Andre because because somebody is gonna get him. Somebody or himself is going to get him or somebody else killed.
You're not wrong. You're not.
So let me so let me change gears here because I do have a legendary letdown tonight.
Okay.
And it's a hot take, and this is like the first hot take that I came up with this week. So my legendary letdown right now is Kofi Kingston. And I'm so much in the fact that I'm over Kofi Kingston as champion.
Oh,
he had a nice
boy,
little
here
moment.
we go.
He had a nice little moment, and you brought him up, and he was a champion, and we all cheered, yay, Kofi. And now here we are 2 months later going, who's WWE? Oh, that's right, it's Kofi Kingston.
No, you do that. I'm
doing, hey, Captain Swan Song.
Sorry.
So, here's the thing with Kofi, man. I love Kofi Kingston. I've been a big Kofi Kingston fan ever since he came up through ECW, the fake ECW, WWE ECW. But
thank you.
Nonetheless, I've been a big Kofi Kingston fan ever since then because he's tagged with my boy CM Punk. Him and Punk are big friends. So like that helps. But like, I've been a big Kofi guy, and I get tired of his Royal Rumble shills and all that. But they're fun. And the New Day is a great gimmick and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of merit in what Kevin Owens says. And I don't think that this is Kevin's I don't know his real name, so I'm just going to say Kevin Steen. I don't think that this is the real man Kevin Owens saying it. I think it's a scripted comment, but I think he's right that Kofi Kingston is not championship material. Back another peg. I think that Kofi Kingston is, in fact, a B+ player.
Oh my.
I don't think that whenever you talk about SummerSlam cards and you talk about who's going to be in the main event, you're thinking, Rollins versus Lesnar. That's a big time match. You think about the WWE title, I'm thinking Kevin Owens. I'm thinking, Roman Reigns. I'm thinking Drew McIntyre. I'm not thinking Kofi Kingston. So my legendary letdown, and it might be a little bit in how they're booking him, but I truly feel like I'm done with Kofi as champion. Like, let's get him back with the New Day. Let them do their little comedy thing and be entertaining. No, I'm not saying they're entertaining, but I feel like that belt needs to go to somebody else.
Well,
I feel like you are super crass about this. Like, I understand that, like, on the surface, Kofi having that title, and especially this past SmackDown, having him be with the New Day. And frankly, and this could just be me thinking about staging and importance, why was Kofi not center stage? Have Xavier off to the left or right. Like, I understand that's how they've always stood, that's how they've always been, but Kofi should be the center point, not the mouthpiece, but the center point of that. Aside from that, taking that aside, I think that Kofi has done a really, really great job of being a white meat, lovable babyface champion. He has taken on all comers. He laid out who he's beaten on SmackDown. He has been like a good, really strong babyface champion. And I think you are being just a little too crass about all this.
Well, here's something.
Honestly, and here's hot take 3.5.
Hot take 9,000 for this podcast.
No. That was legit my third one, but this is 3.5. I'd probably honestly rather have Orton be the champion right now than Kofi.
Wow,
You're done. You're off the show.
That's a strong statement.
You're
that's a
off the
bold
show.
strategy,
You're
Cotton.
I agree
will
with,
say
again, agreements go all around here to Poot. I think you are 100% right on the fact that I don't think it's time. I just don't see it Beef's way. I think Poot hit the nail on the head when he said he is a white meat baby face. Baby.
baby back. He's not white face.
I'm done.
He's not white face at all. Obviously.
Wow.
White face baby meat.
Wow. White face baby meat. That's going to be a t-shirt for Ransom. Alec Ransom. White meat baby face.
White face baby
White
meat.
face baby
Sounds like
meat.
fucking albacore tuna. White meat baby made albacore tuna.
It's just going to be a picture of his face making like a confused like brr.
Oh my god.
Anyway, you're right, Poot. I didn't verbalize it very well, but yeah, I agree with you.
Well, before I took and went completely racial there. No, I'm gonna find the middle of the road for this. I agree with Poot. Kofi's been a great babyface champion. But there's something that you guys had also hearkened to when we were talking about Cole Gargano with the title, and Gargano, whether his time was up or not. I think with Kofi, this title reign or him getting the title is not necessarily in his title reign. It's getting that moment. The money was in the chase, not him having such a long reign, because I think we all kind of, we all knew, we saw the writing on the wall. Okay, they're going to give the title to Kofi. That's cool. That's fine. That's great. But I don't think any of us expect him to have a sustainably long title reign. He's not going to be holding it for like almost a year like AJ Styles did or anything like that. Kofi's great. I love Kofi and I love the New Day. And I love the fact that he was able to break away a little bit from the comedy shtick to show like, hey, I can put on a hell of a match in the ring, which he's done. He's put on great matches week in and week out. Okay. But again, is the money in the chase or is the money in him having that title reign? And I think the money's more in the chase in this case.
It's a very valid point.
One other thing I will say, and I was actually I was looking over this in preparations for next week's podcast. Whenever if we end up doing predictions for the next pay-per-view event here, with
Stomping Ground coming. Oh wait, no.
Kicking ass and taking names,
screaming, yelling, screaming.
We'll have to do Fyter Fest too, because Fyter Fest is on the 29th.
I will gladly pick them if you guys deem it so. We can do our picks, but like these are like the most random picks because it's the second AEW show.
I say if you're gonna do Fyter Fest, I say roll it into with Stomping Grounds into one.
There
wow,
we go.
that's rough.
A big card, because it gets.
Look at Tom throwing all the curveballs to try and get the belt.
Jeez, holy!
It's a big card.
Wild card.
Wild card.
All right. Hey, fellas,
All right.
I don't know if you guys have thought about it or not. Have you guys thought up your hot tag trivia questions?
Yeah,
I got one.
Barely, but yes.
All right, I'll tell you what. Since he's the newbie here, we're gonna put the stress on him. Tom, you pick the order.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. I think
Please
I'm gonna
let me
ask
Beef.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask Ransom. Ransom can ask Beef. Beef can ask Poot. And Poot
again? Come on. He's gonna pick something from 2005 to 2011.
Okay,
That's what he's
I
gonna
mean.
do.
Okay, how about? Well, okay, here we go. How about this then? I'll ask Ransom. Ransom can ask Beef. Beef can ask me, and well, no, that doesn't work
Poot
at
will
all.
ask
Poot,
Poot.
you don't get to ask anybody.
Yeah, Poot doesn't.
It's not that hard. Ready? Beef asks Tom. Tom asks me. I ask Ransom. Ransom asks Beef.
That
Yes.
works.
All right.
Okay, then. So I'm leading?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, Tom, coming at you. So
Okay.
we spent a
You're
lot of
ready for
time talking
something
about.
from 1980.
You're not far off. So we
Fuck.
talked about Dominion, and we talked about Naito versus Ibushi for the Intercontinental Championship. Dominion and the Intercontinental Championship have a nice little back and forth give and take. But I'm going to switch brands, and I'm going to talk about the other Intercontinental Championship and the other big summer event. I'm talking about the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam.
Okay.
My question to you is, so I was initially going to ask you the win-loss ratio. I'll tell you straight up. There was 34 matches. No, I'm sorry, 24 matches. Bad math. 24 matches. So I was going to ask the win-loss, but I'm not going to do that. There are two men who have successfully defended the Intercontinental title twice at SummerSlam. Can you name one or both of those men?
Well, I'm gonna guess one is the Miz.
You would be right on that. Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'm gonna guess the other one. Let me think. Who's been? Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna take an educated guess here, being that we've been talking about Dominion and he is a part of it, and this is probably one of those little tie-ins. Is the other one would be Jericho?
It is not. I don't think Jericho's ever defended or been in an Intercontinental title match. Would you like to hazard a guess as to how many times that belt has changed hands at SummerSlam of the 24 times?
10.
Way off. And this
Oh.
is fucking shocking to me. 15.
Wow.
There have only been 9 successful title defenses. 2 of them were to The Miz. 2 of them were to Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
So he was the other one. Edge, Umaga, Rey Mysterio, Ziggler, and Ryback.
Ziggler was actually going to be one of my other guesses if it wasn't Jericho. But go ahead.
Here's what's super interesting. So I didn't write down the years the SummerSlam started. I apologize, but I think it was like 85 or 86. The first time that the Intercontinental title was successfully defended was 93 with Shawn Michaels, and then again in 95 with Shawn Michaels. Other than that, you don't have a successful defense until 2004. So we're talking about probably 20 years where the IC title was only defended successfully twice, which is a huge fucking deal. It's crazy to me. So
basically, what we're trying to say is Finn Balor's probably going to lose it here at SummerSlam.
more than likely, exactly. Well, actually, of the last 20 years, it's actually been kind of swung the other way in their favor because I think they kind of saw that. So maybe not, but we'll see.
Okay. Who am I asking now again? I'm asking Poot.
No, you're asking Ransom. Ransom's asking Poots. Poots asking me.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm asking Beef.
Damn it!
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm asking Poot, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Poot,
Stupid Beef.
here we go. Since we've been on a roll with this fucking almost 3 weeks in a row, the fucking European Championship question here. That's why I wanted to ask Ransom, because I feel like I had already asked you one before. But
All right, Tom.
in the illustrious, I know, right? In the illustrious European Championship tenure,
Sure.
who has the longest European Championship title reign?
Wait, run that by me one more time. I'm sorry, you cut out.
Who has the longest European Championship title reign?
Whoa.
That's a good one.
That is.
I hope so.
I have no idea.
That's really tough. Okay. Who has the longest the longest title reign?
Yep.
That is insane.
I have 2 names that jump to my mind immediately.
All right. Well, I'm trying to think when okay, it had to have the thing that popped in my head was it had to have been when the European Championship was at its most like quote unquote importance, if you want to say it that way. Prestigious, yeah. If it was more prestigious, you know what I mean. Of the mid card, low mid card belts. I'm thinking because like there were so many guys who fought for that sumbitch. I mean, we talked about how the British Bulldog was the inaugural because I brought that one up. Because he beat Owen Hart for it.
Correct.
Let's see who else were notable ones. So let's see. There was I know X-Pac held it, but I'm not even going to consider that as an option. No offense. No offense, Sean. Let's see. There's William Regal. There's didn't Al Snow hold it at one point?
He sure did.
Raven. No, not Raven. What am I doing? Let's see who else held that thing. There's like Bob Holly, Crash Holly. There's a whole slew of mid-carders.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with. Oh, William Regal as well.
Oh yes.
William Regal was oh man, that's tough.
He's a man.
Such a man. You know what? I'm going to go out on a ledge here. Let's see. Okay, the two that are in my head are the Bulldog and D'Lo Brown.
You're looking
D'Lo is going to be mine.
D'Lo and Bulldog are the two that are in my head.
Okay.
D'Lo was one of mine too. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go with Bulldog on this one.
Is that your final answer,
Final
sir?
answer, the British Bulldog.
Man, you pulled it out of your ass again.
Oh.
Yes. The inaugural champion, the British Bulldog, was the longest title reign with you want to take a hazard of how many days?
I'm going to hazard a guess I'm going to guess around 200 days.
Pretty damn close. 206.
Ooh.
Wow, you were real close.
Look at this guy. Holy shit.
Wow. Knowledge, science.
Dude, wow. Now, to be fair, when I was a kid, for some reason, because I didn't understand the idea of like top card, mid card, blah, 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 yeah. I loved the Intercontinental and the European Championship like divisions, like the mid card. I love the mid card because back in the day they were the working card. You know what I mean? To go back on that, the two a couple of the other guys that you mentioned, William Regal and D'Lo Brown, those two had the most reigns. They both had 4 reigns apiece. Whoa, okay.
Huh.
So
look at that.
I feel like those belts meant more back then.
They did.
Sure did.
They did.
They were literal stepping stones for people. You know, whoever won the Intercontinental belt, it was like, okay, you're the
next in line.
The next in line.
Yeah, you're working your way up.
And I hope we get back to that again here, and I hope we see that in the future with the U.S. and Intercontinental titles. But good job, Poot. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Pootsky, lay it on me.
All right, so WrestleMania X7. Okay, that was on April 1st, 2001. It was in Houston, Texas, at the Reliant Astrodome. There were wonderful matches. You know, such memorable historical matches like Chris Jericho defeating William Regal to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Bradshaw Farouk versus Taz and Bradshaw Farouk and Taz versus Right to Censor. You know, these really high notable matches. Shane McMahon defeating Mr. McMahon. Foley was the special guest referee. It was a street fight. You know, wonderful. But there was something else that was very serious. It was actually a very serious high note, you know, part of WrestleMania X7. It was the Gimmick Battle Royal. Now, the Gimmick Battle Royal
Oh my!
And now, Beef, shut your whore mouth, because I know you're going to know this because it's something goofy from a WrestleMania. Tom, also, don't give him any clues because it's really obvious who's the winner of this.
That's no problem. I will mute my mic.
This is a softball if I ever had one. Ransom, it's simple. Who was the winner of the Gimmick Battle Royal? And if you can give me at least 4 of the participants, I will give you an extra bonus point. Shut up, Beef.
Was Repo Man in that?
Repo Man was in that.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. Repo Man is the only thing that I really remember. Doink has to have been in it.
Doink was in it, so that's 2.
Yeah, that's... As far as gimmicks go, those are the only ones that I really remember.
All right.
To be honest, Repo Man is the only one about that Battle Royal. So I'm going to say I have no idea who the winner was. Because Repo Man is the only person I even remotely remember in that match.
Give me an answer then.
Oh, I fucking know. Vader?
He's a lifeline.
Not Beef. Hush up.
I don't know.
I said hush up.
No, I honestly don't know. I have no idea who won.
All right, so you're
I know Repo Man didn't win it, but he's the only one I know being in it.
You gonna throw out Repo Man?
Oh, sure.
All right. It was not Repo Man, but Repo Man and Doink were in there. It was the Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik defeated. You ready for
I was going to say the only man who couldn't actually be thrown out of the Battle Royal because of, his shape.
You ready? Oh. Are you ready for this lineup, guys? You ready for this keynote lineup?
Let's hear it.
You ready for this?
And I'll be honest, I didn't know this answer either, Ransom, so don't feel bad.
The Iron Sheik defeated, and here's the list of people. Brother Love, in alphabetical order, mind you. Not really. Brother Love, the Bushwhackers, both of them. Jim Cornette. Wait for it. It gets better. It gets better. Hold on. Doink, Duke the Dumpster Drozy.
Yes.
Earthquake.
Wow.
The Goon. Michael Hayes.
Holy shit.
Hillbilly Jim. Kamala. Kim Chi. One Man Gang, otherwise known as Beef.
Akeem.
Akeem, the African Dream, who was very white.
Jeez.
Repo Man, Sergeant Slaughter, Nikolai Volkov, because wherever the Iron Sheik goes, Nikolai Volkov is sure to follow. And Tugboat, and wait, there's one more. You ready for this?
The Gobbledygooker.
The Gobbledygooker. Thanks for blowing my spot, you asshat. The Gobbledygooker.
I should have known the Brother Love.
It should have been him.
I forgot.
That was the Gimmick Battle Royal, bitches.
Dear Lord.
It's kind of... Number one, it should have been the Gobbledygooker that won. Because if there was
100%.
ever a gimmick that just fell so flat on its face, that was it right there.
Not only that, but it should have been Pete Rose under the Gobbledygooker helmet. How great would that have been? With Pete Rose's history at WrestleMania?
And 2, I find it ironic that Jim Cornette would shit all over AEW's Battle Royal when he was a part of that gimmick one himself. So.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's I didn't think of that. That's a really good point.
Somebody at Jim Cornette right now. It'll give him a permanent fucking botchamania face. Why?
Oh, he'd lose his mind. He'd find some way to weasel out of it.
Yeah.
All right, Beef. You dumb bastard.
Hit me.
In typical form, as I'm wont to do, we've got multi-part question.
Hooray!
Yes, sir. I'm all in.
Okay. So, first part.
I'm all out.
Who has the... Oh, I see what you did. Who has the most reigns as the NXT champion? Multi-part question's all about the NXT championship, by the way.
All right. So I think... Let me ask you this. Is it more than one person?
Yes, it's
You should know that.
Okay.
Two people.
Oh, 2 people. Oh, okay. Balor and Nakamura.
Nope. You're right on one. I won't tell you which one, though.
Because I thought they both had 2 reigns, and I thought that was it. Because Balor lost to Joe, and then he won it back from Joe, and then Joe
Did
beat.
he?
No, maybe he didn't. So Nakamura, I think, is one.
Yes.
Balor did not win it back from Joe,
No, he didn't.
so Joe would have been the other one.
Yes, that's true. And sticking with the NXT Championship questions, who has the longest reign as NXT Champion?
Now, are we going back to like the before television days, or are we talking about like just from like Takeover forward?
I'm talking about the history of the
Or
NXT.
Arrival.
The history of the NXT Championship. As long as there's been an NXT Championship, who has the longest reign as an NXT
Fuck.
Champion?
I got it. Sorry, I know I'm beefing up there, and I'm like, ooh, I got it. I'm drooling.
You're fine.
Ooh.
A big part of me wants to say Balor because I know it felt like he had the title forever, and that's not a problem. I know McIntyre had it for a decent skid.
Ooh.
So I'm trying to think of the lineage
Oh.
before Arrival. Neville beat Bo. I think Bo may have beaten Rollins, and I think that may have been it. No, Big E was in there too. Fuck. Oh shit. Who beat Neville? Oh god. I'm gonna say. Or was it Ciampa? Shit. That's a good question. I'm gonna say Ciampa. Actually, he held it for almost a year.
The longest reigning champion, 292 days. Finn Balor.
Damn.
There you go. The obvious answer was the correct one, right?
Yeah,
The
it
obvious
was.
answer.
I-
So,
I would have been
counter-
wrong then. I would have been
counter
wrong
the-
because
who was yours?
I was going to say Neville because he was until Balor then.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. He
to
went
counter
from
the
Arrival
longest-
to Balor. Yeah.
Who was the shortest?
The shortest. Ooh.
Shortest
The
reigning NXT
shortest
champion.
Joe.
That may have been Gargano.
Nope. I don't think.
Because
Oh,
Joe
who's yours?
had it.
I'm gonna go with Joe on this one.
Joe. Oh wait. Because Joe did lose it between takeovers. That title change happened between takeovers. I forgot.
Tom and Beef?
Do you want me to wait till
Yeah,
you guess Beef?
You can jump in. I'm thinking.
I'm going to guess Sami Zayn.
That's exactly it.
Oh,
Because he
that's
didn't
a
even-
good guess.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's Sami Zayn.
Shortest championship, shortest NXT championship reign at 14 days. 14 days. Your Cruiserweight champion is correct.
Yeah.
Oh.
Samoa Joe, 14
This
days.
guy.
Because after you were saying, when he said, like, when Beef was talking about him losing between takeovers, I was trying to think, and I was like, then I remembered, I was like, shit, Joe lost it. It wasn't on
just an NXT. Yeah, it was.
It wasn't on like it wasn't on a takeover. It was just like it was
They recorded it for NXT. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
wasn't
like
that-
the
wasn't
weekly
that the thing-
syndicate.
yeah, wasn't that the thing? I was gonna say, wasn't that whenever they were doing the stuff in Japan or whatever, or no?
No, he won. So Balor beat Owens. No. Fuck.
In any case, yeah, Joe lost it like in between big period there, like big shows,
Right.
and it was
was
very
on a-
obscure.
Well, it was because like it was pretty much, wasn't it just they were like, okay, they're bringing him up. Wasn't that the impetus
Joe?
of him losing
You
the
know,
title?
I don't know. I
I don't know why.
I've-
I don't know. To
I
be
think
honest.
I think it was just to shotgun a change to get people to watch NXT television, like, you know, and it worked. You know, people.
I think
people
it
like,
was.
"Hey, shit."
I think you're right on that, Beef, because after he lost it there, didn't he win it back almost pretty immediately after?
Pretty close. I think he won it like the next takeover. Yeah, because him and Shinsuke kind of hot potatoed the title there.
Yeah.
which is something that has never happened with the NXT title prior to those two. So
Yeah.
and not since. So good hot tech trivia, everybody.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Hey, I feel
I
I
think
feel
it's time to wrap down. I believe.
yeah, I
it's
was gonna
about
say,
that time.
I feel pretty good about this episode. I feel like we've had a good amount of salt. I think that the internet has heard my hot take and probably agrees with the three of you that I'm a crazy man. But that's okay. Because
okay.
we
You're
have
not allowed to
actually that's fair. We and Poot, I know that the swan song is your gimmick. I'm not trying to infringe upon it. I just want to say
Stop swan song and beef.
that we are very lucky because in the
You can be
last
sued.
It's all right.
last 2 months we've had WrestleMania, Takeover New York, we've had Takeover 25, we've had Double or Nothing, and now Dominion. Yeah, and yes, even Supercard Showdown and Money in the Bank. We've had, regardless of the kind of wrestling fan that you are, whether you're the kind that will love Roman Reigns and Goldberg and you tune in to see those guys, or whether you're the kind like us who, crave the indies. We've had a lot of great wrestling over the last 2 months, and I think that we have a lot of good wrestling coming up with, Stomping Grounds. I'll be the one to say it. There could be some decent matches at Stomping Grounds. And then obviously Fyter Fest coming up, the Fight for the Fallen in July, and then all crescendoing to, of course, Takeover in Toronto, SummerSlam in Toronto, UK Takeover in Cardiff, and then the fucking crown jewel of the summer, All Out. So I mean, I think that we're truly blessed. We're in a blessed time right now.
August is going to be amazing for wrestling. I cannot wait for that.
Oh my God.
I'm going to request my days off in advance for
and the fucking G1 climax. Holy shit, I forgot all about the fucking G1 climax.
Rein yourself in. Tom was talking. Go ahead, Tom.
Sorry, Tom.
No, I was just gonna say I already requested my days off, and I haven't already. I'm going to request my days off in August ahead of time to make sure that I have those Saturdays off for Takeover SummerSlam weekend and then for All Out, because I'm hoping, like we alluded to in our group chat, that maybe these fans will get a little bit of a live video podcast.
Nope.
No, of course, no. He says no, but it's always, with Ransom, no means yes. No means I'm hungry. No means I'm thirsty. No means, hey, how you doing
drunk
today? No means I'm drunk. No means I'm no.
$49.99.
$49.99. That's what no means.
Nope.
But yeah, exactly.
Hey, you know what?
Yes.
Hey, if we do a live podcast, Ransom, then we can charge them like $75 to come in.
Special event.
85 for the HD version.
So just this has nothing to do with
$99.99 for the 4K.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This has nothing to do with you idiot fans listening. You're not, but the other host of the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast. If you'd like to come over for All Out, I'll be hosting All Out at the CBS Studios in downtown Pittsburgh.
16th floor.
You're uninvited. You didn't show up. You're uninvited.
Well, you know what? Consider me all in for that one.
Boo.
Yeah.
Garbage. All right, let's wrap this up. I am your.
I love that. He's like, you're garbage.
It's all about delivery, not what's actually funny. I am your reigning, defending, undisputed Cruiserweight champion, Poot the Bard, baby.
I think there's some
wow.
There's definitely some dispute in there. I think Ransom has some problems with you. This is Beef the Legend. Your hot take commodity right here. Suck a dick, Poot. Suck a dick, Poot.
Go ahead, Ransom.
This is you don't need to know who I am. $49.99, you idiots.
All right. Well, I am your, I guess, man on the way out here for the Evening Casual Gaming Dad, one of the two sponsors, which Beef absolutely failed at mentioning for.
So you're the worst.
So I'm gonna give him a chance to go ahead and thank at least one of the sponsors. I'll thank myself.
As always, we are happy to be presented. As always, we are happy to be presented by WrestleDeals.com, your home for violent deals and bloody good prices, and Casual Gaming Dad himself, Tom Bodnar, on Facebook at Casual Gaming Dad's Corner.
Hey, now you know what? We're gonna have to stop using my full name in there because then I'm gonna start getting weird friend requests and stuff like that, which I actually have.
Tom, right? Isn't that the worst?
Casual Gaming Dad. Can
What's that?
for you guys?
I'll get you your coffee, Mr. Tiger Bomb.
I'll do the job for you, man. I promise.
But
Wow! Whoa!
what was that?
That was almost as good.
That was like the Aflac duck.
That was
I can't even.
hot take.
We're done. It's over.
Hot take.
Shut it off. $49.99, you idiots. You ungrateful bastards.